1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan, the news read by Muhammad Zubair Khan. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has left for Turkey on a 3-day official visit to further boost friendly ties with the brotherly country. Federal Cabinet has felicitated the nation on rejecting PTI's long march and lauded the law enforcement agencies on performing their duties efficiently. The first Hajj flight departs from Islamabad on Sunday night. Pakistan has released second humanitarian assistance on the request of Ukraine to support war-hit people there. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred 2 more Kashmiri youth in Pulwama district today. In Afghanistan, security forces have killed 4 militants in Badakhshan province. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has left for Turkey on a 3-day official visit. He is accompanied by federal ministers Khaja Muhammad Asif, Maryam Aurangzeb and Chaudhry Saleh Hussain as well as Fahad Hussain. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari will also join the Prime Minister in Turkey. During the visit, the Prime Minister will have one-on-one meeting with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, which would be followed by delegation-level talks. Besides covering the entire gamut of Pakistan-Turkey bilateral relations, the two leaders will exchange views on regional and international issues. The Prime Minister will attend a Pakistan-Turkey Business Council forum and have extensive interaction with leading Turkish businessmen and potential investors from diverse sectors. During these events, he will highlight Pakistan's vast investment potential and encourage Turkish companies to invest in Pakistan and work to strengthen trade and economic ties between the two countries. Meanwhile, in a tweet before his departure, Shehbaz Sharif said, "Time has come for Pakistan and Turkey to further leverage on their excellent bonds to upgrade the bilateral ties." He said the era of regional connectivity, shared development, and common destiny calls for fresh approach. The Prime Minister said he looks forward to discussing this with Turkish leadership. Earlier, in an interview with Turkish news agency Anadolu, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said Pakistan and Turkey enjoy close collaboration at bilateral, regional, and multilateral forums. He said both Pakistan and Turkey have a similarity of views on regional and international issues. Shehbaz Sharif said Pakistan and Turkey support each other on all issues of core national interest, including Jammu and Kashmir and Northern Cyprus. The Prime Minister said this year both countries are celebrating the 75th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations. He said in these 7.5 decades, the two sides have always stood by each other in the face of all challenges. Shehbaz Sharif said, "We are now focusing on economic cooperation." He vowed to boost Pak-Turkey bilateral ties in trade. The Federal Cabinet has felicitated the nation on rejecting PTI's long march and lauded the law enforcement agencies on performing their duties efficiently. This was stated by Interior Minister Rana Sanaullah while briefing media along with Minister for Communication Maulana Asad Mahmood and Prime Minister's advisor Qamar Zaman Kaira about decisions taken in the Federal Cabinet, which met in Islamabad today with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif in the chair. The Federal Cabinet was also assured that any anti-state long march in the future would be dealt with an iron hand. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif mentioned that he had directed the Interior Ministry and the law enforcement agencies not to carry any weapon at the venue of the long march. The Interior Minister said PTI Chief Imran Khan used resources of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government in his march. He said it was not a democratic march and he has proposed the Federal Cabinet to allow registration of criminal cases under Pakistan Penal Code against those responsible for violence in the march and issuing inflammatory statements against the Federation. He said a committee has been constituted to review provocative statements of the Chief Minister of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The Interior Minister assured that no one will be allowed to make a siege of the federal capital. Maulana Asad Mahmood said the government will not let anyone to harm peace in the country. He said writ of the state will be ensured. Qamar Zaman Kaira said Imran Khan should keep it in mind that the law will take its course if anyone violates it. This is Radio Pakistan. The first Hajj flight will depart from Islamabad on Sunday night. According to Ministry of Religious Affairs, more than 80% pilgrims under government Hajj scheme have completed their training through Hajj camps. Hajj pilgrims will be informed about the flights through the website and mobile message. Hajj pilgrims under government scheme will arrive in Saudi Arabia via PIA, Airblue, Serene Air and Saudi Air. The Federal Cabinet has approved a 150,000 rupees support amount for each intending pilgrim to provide relief to them. This was announced by Minister for Religious Affairs and Interfaith Harmony, Mufti Abdul Shakur, while talking to media in Islamabad this afternoon. He said Hajj expenses were over 800,000 rupees and now this cost will be around 700,000 rupees. The minister assured the best facilities will be provided to the pilgrims to make their stay in the Holy Land comfortable. Pakistan is sending second humanitarian assistance for people of Ukraine on the request of Ukrainian government. The humanitarian assistance includes emergency medicines, electromedical equipment, winter bedding and food items. A special C-130 plane has been sent to Ukraine to deliver more than 7.5 tons of humanitarian assistance items for the Ukrainian people. The second C-130 plane will be dispatched on Friday, carrying another 7.5 tons of assistance. Pakistan has always acted promptly alongside international community for responding to international calls for assistance during conflicts and calamities as a responsible and peace-loving nation. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred 2 more Kashmiri youth in Pulwama district today. According to Kashmir Media Service, the troops martyred the youth during a cordon and search operation in Rajpura area of the district. The troops also continued operations in Srinagar, Kupwara, Baramulla, Bandipur, Shupaiyan, Islamabad, Kulgam, Doda, Rajouri and Poonch districts. Senior APHC leader Naeem Ahmad Khan, in his message from New Delhi's Tihar jail, said the BJP-led Indian racist regime is using its judiciary as a weapon against the Kashmiris to further its Hindutva agenda in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Meanwhile, India is deploying more than 15,000 additional troops in occupied Jammu and Kashmir in the garb of security for Amarnath Yatra, which is commencing in the last week of June. Indian Home Ministry has approved the deployment of the troops. On the other hand, Indian authorities did not allow mother and sister of Kashmiri Hurriyat leader Muhammad Yasin Malik to meet him in New Delhi's Tihar jail. Yasin Malik has been shifted to an isolated cell in the jail after being sentenced to life imprisonment by an Indian kangaroo court in a sham trial. In Afghanistan, security forces have killed 4 insurgents in Tagab district of Badakhshan province. Head of the Provincial Information and Culture Department, Qari Mazuddin Ahmadi, said security forces have also seized weapons from the militants. European Union leaders have agreed to ban the export of Russian oil to the 27-nation bloc. In a tweet, European Union Council President Charles Michel said the leaders also agreed to cut off the largest Russian bank, Sberbank, from the SWIFT system and to ban 3 more Russian state-owned broadcasters. And finally, the weather report. Mainly hot and dry weather is expected in most plain areas of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain, wind and thunderstorm is expected at isolated places in Gilgit-Baltistan, Kashmir, Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Islamabad and Upper Punjab. And now once again the headlines. Prime Minister has left for Turkey on a 3-day official visit to further boost friendly ties with the brotherly country. Federal Cabinet has felicitated the nation on rejecting PTI's long march and lauded the law enforcement agencies on performing their duties efficiently. The first Hajj flight departs from Islamabad on Sunday night. Pakistan has released second humanitarian assistance on the request of Ukraine to support war-hit people there. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred 2 more Kashmiri youth in Pulwama district today. That is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.